Hi everybody, my name's Mike Tomorrow, and I want to welcome you to the latest episode of My Life with Asperger's. I already did this topic back earlier in the series, and I'm going to revisit that topic because I feel that it needs to be said. I need to say it, and it needs to be revisited, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to revisit a topic that I already discussed about on here. And that topic is being ignored. Well, that's the topic, being ignored. Now, being ignored is the worst feeling in the world. Because if people don't care about you or they don't see you, then how will you know? And, being ignored is the worst feeling in this world. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what disability you have, doesn't matter what race you are, doesn't matter what gender you are, doesn't matter what marital status you are, doesn't matter what work level you are. Being ignored is like one of the worst feelings. I've been ignored long enough. I feel being ignored is something that needs to be stopped. I don't like being ignored. I have ideas, and even though there might be good ideas, I don't like being ignored and no one listening to me for the ideas, It's not right. I don't like it. Even though I might have the right idea, they ignore me, At work, for example, I keep being ignored. I have good ideas. I have good suggestions. But yet, even though my suggestions might be right, I feel that I'm being ignored. Whether I am right or I'm wrong. You know, I was going to have a suggestion for a challenge, actually, for the coordinators to put me on the holiday greeter position. I was going to actually challenge them to do that. Because back when I originally started at Pizza Planet, there was a coordinator there that said that they had a position for me. This was happening around Christmas time during my college program. They had a position for me. They had a very good position for me. And that was to be a holiday greeter. And they said that I was one of the best holiday greeters around for the location. Since then, I felt, yeah, I'm still the best holiday greeter around, but yet I feel that I'm not being put in that position. Because the coordinators that run it now, seems like all they want to put me on is busing. It's like, what's the point? I know I can do the position very well. I'm the best holiday greeter there is, and you put me on busing. I feel like I'm being ignored here. I do love working there, but, it's not right. You shouldn't put me at the same position all the time. You should switch it up, I should not be ignored. Nobody should be ignored, especially at work. I don't like being ignored. Being ignored is the worst feeling. I said that, I know. If you are ignored, and what anybody's doing is wrong, here's what I suggest. I suggest you go and speak up and tell them what the problem is. Because if they listen to you, they'll help you fix it. If you do not go up and tell them, then you will be ignored, whether your idea is right or wrong, Now here's another example. My parents. I told them that I'm not moving back to Massachusetts with them, and I refuse to move back there. I have bad feelings in the past, bad emotions in the past. I can't stand living with my parents. At 29 years old, I have found independence for myself living here. I understand that both my parents want me to be around. I understand that my mom is not feeling that good right now. She's feeling good that she'll survive, but yet she is not feeling that good, and she worries about things about me. I understand that, but I feel like I'm being ignored here. They don't care about me, and I feel that they don't care what I have to say and about my job and my life here in Florida. I understand I don't have a car right now. I understand that I have to get rides to church and work. But if it wasn't for those rides, I'd be poor right now. I have a ride to work, and I'm very thankful I have a ride to work so I can get my money. You know? I love working, and I still have a job. Why should I quit my job to move someplace else? You know, I feel ignored, yes, but it's the only job I have right now. If I quit that job without finding another job to secure it, then I'm going to be jobless. I cannot do that. You know? It's wrong. It's stupid. I really want to work. You know, and I should work. I understand I'm not in... Well, the past week, it was okay at Disney, but it kept me moving on. And I feel that I should keep working at the job I have now. You know, I do find work. I am trying to find another position for me to go to. But that's being hard right now. You know, it's hard. The economy and everything. But yet, speaking of that, you know what is hard is? I apply for a job, and yet I don't get a phone call back. I don't get an email back. You know? I've been on LinkedIn. I applied for jobs for LinkedIn. And then they have the person who posted the job. I call them, right? Most of the time when I call them, I leave a message, right? They don't call back. And I email some of the people. They don't email me back either. And that really upsets me. That, what's going on? Why am I not being contacted back? I should be contacted back. I understand that maybe my resume doesn't qualify for it, but I should be contacted back about it. You know? You shouldn't just ignore me. I understand you have other people applying for the same job, the same position that I'm trying to apply for, but you should not ignore people like me. You should not ignore people who applied for the same job. Just because you probably filled the job with somebody else, you know, you should email them and thank them for applying for the job. You know, instead of ignoring them and making them feel wondering what's going on. You know? I don't like what's going on. You know? But recently, I have been, once I did apply for a job on LinkedIn, I tried to email them or call them back and leave them a message saying, have you looked at my resume and all that? And have you called me back? You know? Or, could you please give me a call back? Or, could you please email me back to make sure you did get the resume? You know? Instead of, like, ignoring me. What am I? Is it okay to ignore me? I have Asperger syndrome. Is it okay to ignore people with Asperger syndrome? I don't think it is. You know, the government also ignoring people with Asperger syndrome. I tried going for some help through some of the agencies down here in Florida to try to get me a help finding a home and a job, and and they turned me down too. Asperger's is a disability. It may not be a severe disability, but it is a disability that should not be ignored. People put Asperger's with autism, and there's some people that don't. Some of these agencies down here in Florida consider autism to be a disability that they'll work with, but yet they will not work with people that have Asperger's. And that is wrong. I understand that people with Asperger's might be different with people with autism, but yet you gotta understand this. They try to link Asperger's with autism. Some of the places do, and some of the places do not. And yet Asperger's is a disability. It's a disability that's going to keep going and going and going. And if people do not recognize it and help and try to get more funding for it, then, then we're going to be ignored and nothing's going to happen. And that's not the position that any of us should be in. Whether it's an adult with Asperger's or children with Asperger's, these children with Asperger's and autism are going to grow up to be adults. And what's going to happen when they're adults? I have said this numerous of times. Why is the world working with only children with autism and Asperger's? Why are they not working with the adults with autism and Asperger's? I was not diagnosed when I was a kid. I understand that. I was diagnosed when I was an adult. But still, you should help people even if they are adults. These children are going to grow up to be adults. And if they're going to end up like me, they're probably not going to get any help at all from anybody. And we need to help cater the adults. We need to help cater the children as well, so that when they become adults, they'll be okay. And they'll still get the help and services that they need. I feel that there's not enough done, and we're being ignored for it, and what's the price here? No one cares. No one cares that we're being ignored every single time in our life. No one should be ignored. I don't care what people may say. Nobody should be ignored. And if you feel that you are, go stand up and go speak about it. Don't sit around all day. It's wrong. I don't know what to tell you. I'm struggling in my life too. And I'm trying to find out what's going on in my life. And yet people don't care about people with Asperger's. People with Asperger's are being ignored. And it needs to be stopped. I don't care. I don't care who you are, what organization you're from. You need to help people with Asperger's. Come on now. Please. Please help us out. I hope to see you guys on another episode of My Life with Asperger's. Thank you for watching.